Hi, uh, this is Alan Haghighi,
Guys.
my friend. People when they see us, they say, "Oh, is he your disciple?" No,
I tried to be. He wouldn't let me. You know this guy.
He- I learn as much from him as he does from me, maybe a lot more. Anyway, Alan's the guy that got me to do video blogs and stuff like that. And we're here at the fruit wine place where he's starting a business with
Check it
his.
out.
Yeah,
Some tanks back there.
awesome place. And yeah, I know I'm due to do a blog, and I'm heading out to traveling again. Feeling up to it. Going up to Washington tomorrow, and be gone for 5 days. So anyway, I wanted to get this done, and Alan can help me with the.
I'll
But
jump in.
yeah,
This is the whole nature of blogging. It's just being real and transparent and
yeah,
getting to know Frank a little better, and maybe once in a while you'll get to know me a little better too. So
yeah.
I know Frank's got some stuff that God's been teaching him, and I'm sure you guys would love to learn about that. So let's go for it, no?
Well, I don't have it well organized, but
Do you ever?
no. I've been reading the book. It's a new biography on Dietrich Bonhoeffer, and it's been kind of earth-shattering. And we just went through this big election, and that was earth-shattering. And then, or for some it was earth-shattering, for some it wasn't. But it was interesting to me. Betty and I also went and saw the movie Lincoln, and boy, that busted a lot of bubbles. And I, I'm really caught up with the reality that, well, I spent so long ministering in drug and alcohol rehab, and the principle is if you want to get well, you got to be honest. The Bible teaches walk in the light as He's in the light, and I know politics is the the art of compromise, and we feel like we've hit this impasse here in America that the two sides are so divided that they can't ever come together. Well, go see the film Lincoln. It really helps you see that it's kind of always been that way. And the issue that I've been struggling with of late is truth and lying. And Abraham Lincoln lied right through his teeth. It was shocking. I guess I knew some of the things that he'd done, but you paint this picture that is more real than reality, and we all have those kind of pictures, and they're not so. They're just not so. Um,
I'll jump in for a second
yeah,
now.
please.
What comes to mind when you're talking about that for me, and I always do this as a common practice, is instead of thinking about it in terms of other people, I always bring it to myself. And the practice that I've been trying to implement is one of not lying to myself. Frank goes through this thing with the drug and alcohol rehabs, where have you forgiven other people that have gotten you in this position? Have you forgiven God? And those two tend to be pretty easy for people in general. But then when he says, now have you forgiven yourself? That's usually where the rubber meets the road for these people. And I feel like it's the same with honesty, reality, and truth. When it's one thing not to lie to other people, and it's a whole other thing to not lie to yourself. So I just take that as a little morsel.
Yeah.
Those are my thoughts on that.
Yeah, it's a huge one. My favorite devotional book is an a book called Touchstones, and has various quotes and stuff. And I really like it, better than any I've ever read. And
Yeah.
there's one that starts with a quote about wearing a mask, and that there comes a point when you try to take the mask off, you can't take it off without taking some of the skin off too. That the worst person that we can lie to is ourselves. And we're really good at that.
Mm-hmm.
And what is the Psalm 139? Search me, O God, and know me. Test me. Try my heart. See if there's any anxious way in there. And
lead me in the way everlasting.
lead me in the way everlasting. Yeah.
Which is what obsesses me. It really does. When we're talking about that way, you have to be also thinking about the future. And for people in my generation, it's so important to have that first, because once people do end up grasping honesty with themselves, it changes the entire dynamic of the entire world.
Yeah.
And so this is the force that we're talking about, that it ends up bringing about God's kingdom, bringing about peace on earth, all things which people like Frank have been working towards his entire life.
Yeah.
So it's encouraging as God teaches all of us these things.
In dealing with this truth business, truth is Jesus. I mean, truth is not factual statements. Truth is a person, and that person is the way, the truth, and the life. And did God ever lie? That's an interesting question, because you get it back in the Old Testament, Judges, I think it is, where the king from Judea went up to the king in Samaria, or up in the northern kingdom, Ephraim, and he was going to join forces, and the prophets were all saying, "Go, you're going to succeed." And the guy said, "Isn't there any prophet from Judah, a prophet of Yahweh, of the Lord?" And he said, "Yeah, but I don't like what he does." And he came and he made it clear, and that he saw in the counsel of God all these different spirits saying how they were going to trick Israel into going and being destroyed on the mountainside. And then finally one of the spirits said, "I'll be a lying spirit in the mouth of their prophets." And God said, "Go ahead." And I don't know if you could say, well, then God was lying. But
I don't know if we're meant to make doctrinal
yeah.
conclusions from anything like that. We're just supposed
to.
Well, if anything, you're just understanding that everything about God is mysterious, and appreciating that we can't understand everything. But one thing we can understand is Christ in us.
Absolutely.
And that's where Frank was going. He was going Christ, truth, and then, I mean, we're not talking about effort, putting forth effort to apply the life and example of Christ into us. We're talking about living by the life of Christ. It's a very different thing. It has everything to do with being true, being real and honest with God about your weakness, and then being open to hear what he says afterwards, which every single time I've ever done that has been, you're forgiven. And that's what gives us the ability to grow, to change, and to become even more real than we ever thought possible.
Yeah.
Amen. Yeah, video's pretty long, but this is kind of this is a little.
So walk in the light.
Yeah.
Walk in the light.
Cool. It's a pleasure meeting you guys. I'm sure we'll see you sometime soon.
Yeah. God bless you.